Mission have just released their brand new dartboard, the Samurai 4 White Edition, and like all brands do, they claim that this is the best on the market. Well, in today's video, I'm going to put it through a number of challenges and compare it to the #1 dartboard on the market right now, the Winmau Blade 6 Triple Core Carbon. Let's take a look at the dartboard and see what we're working with. Now, like I said, there's a few physical challenges I'm going to put it through later on in the video, but for now, the first challenge is going to be the visual test. Is it going to pass the visual test? Now, I'd hope so. Mission are a big brand. You would think they've done a good job, but have they? Because some dartboards you get lack in certain areas. For example, big one for me is how many times you've been to the pub clan dartboard and the bullseye is not centered in the middle of the board. It happens all the time, even with the big brands, and that's just can be lack of quality control when they send the dartboards out. It could be just how they are, they're not made properly and that sort of thing. The second thing is we're going to look at the graphics around the outside of the board. What are they like? Are they in line with the segments of the dartboard? Because all these brand new designs are coming out and they're all very similar with the graphics around the outside, so they're fully symmetrical, so when you turn in, it doesn't change the appearance of the dartboard. So it's important that they're in line with the board and don't look out of place. Thirdly, the numbering. Is the numbering any different to what's on the market at the minute? And is it better and or worse? That's pretty much been my opinion, so you can disagree with me on that one, that's absolutely fine. Again, I'm not seeing it properly in person yet, so I'm not sure what it can look like. Thirdly, and a huge one, fourthly, is that gonna work? Don't know, we'll carry on anyway. Fourthly, another big one for me is the quality of the sisal and the print, so the colour of the dartboard. Is there any leakages? Is there any spots where the red goes into the black segment or the green goes into the white segment or the bullseye red has gone into the 25 and that sort of thing? That's a huge thing. You'd expect when you're paying a good price, there's going to be no leakage and it's going to be a pretty consistent board throughout. Now this obviously is only one dartboard out of thousands and thousands they're going to make and sell. So it's a small sample size, but if I paid good money for this, I expect it to be in the best condition possible. If I wanted a lesser conditioned dartboard, I'll buy a cheap one, simple as that. Let's take a look and see what we've got. Now, first of all, what I do like is the box. The box is huge for me because a lot of dartboards you have to open the end up, pull it out, and it's a bit awkward and uncomfortable. Now, this one, it's got like a pizza lid, it's like a pizza box. One thing I love is pizza. So let's flip it out. And you can see there, straight away the board is on display, which I really, really like. Let's take it out of the box and have a closer look and put it through them visual challenges, which I mentioned a few seconds ago. Okay, we've got the dartboard out. First impressions, without taking a closer look, it is in pretty good condition. First test, is the bullseye centered? What do we think? It's got a bit of white in there. I think that's just a bit from the box. I don't think that's anything that's going to mark. Is it centered? I'd say, yeah, pretty much. That's a pass from me. Like I said, I can't guarantee they're all going to be completely centered, but this one, the one I've got, is one I can go by, and this is in pretty good condition. Now, a couple of things on here which I've noticed straight away. Is it in 100% perfect condition? No. You can see like the little bits of white, they're not coming off. There's some of the camera there, a little bit of white. I've noticed a little bit here on the 99, a little bit of white in there. I'm being very, very picky here, but I want to give you the best review I can. Bit of an indent there on the 66. Where else have we got anything else on here? These white bits on the board. But overall, other than that, I would say it's in pretty good condition. Now, the graphics around the outside, are they in line? Would help put the camera in line with the board really, wouldn't it? There you go, the camera's in line now. So, is it in line? I would say yes, especially this one here, definitely. Pretty good to me. Yeah, I think, again, that definitely passes the second test. The numbering around the outside, it is the classic Mission numbering, which I actually quite like. I'm not a fan of the numberings, for example, on the Target tollboard and that sort of thing. That's not for me. I like a proper numbering, like so. And as I mentioned, the leakage in the paint, there's not too much leakage at all. It's in pretty good nick altogether. Ranking it so far, I would give this a 8.5, purely because of the little bits of white in here, the white in there, and the indent there. It's not in perfect condition. I don't expect dartboard to be in 100% perfect condition because it's made out of sisal, and sisal is quite a tough material to work with. So I get that. If you get one in brand spanking new condition, unreal. But for me, this is probably as close as you're gonna get. I just noticed there one more indent actually. I don't know if you see it on the camera or not. There's a slight indent there. But other than that, it's pretty good. How good is it opening a new dartboard thinking, I can't wait to batter that treble one. Right, let's have a look at some of these tests. Now, if you weren't already aware, I do have a Winmau Whisper, which does make it a little bit more difficult to put the dartboard on the wall, which is not a problem, I can still do it, but it just means lining the dartboard up properly. Luckily for me, they do come with these, which the Blade 6 board does come with as well. Let me show you that and get into it. It is the screw-ins that go into the back of the board, so you can tighten the board up to the wall without using the normal stoppers or cardboard, whatever you normally use. But that's good for me because I have to attach this Winmau Whisper plate to the back of the board, and because of that, all I've got to do is find the center of the board and then line this red line up here with the part where the screw would normally go, because that's the number 3 on the board. Then all I've got to do is make sure this doesn't move anywhere and just drill a few holes into the back of the board in the middle just to get the hole started. All we do now is pray that it's straight and hope the best, else we're in trouble. Let's get the surround on. Do a quick brush off. And as you can see, there is the finished product. I've got to say, it does look absolutely lovely. Now the first actual challenge, I'm going to throw these Michael van Gerwen EXO darts at the board. Now there's a reason I've picked these darts. These aren't my normal darts, but with a lot of manufacturers, it used to be a thing when you bought new darts, they came with a plain silver point. And that has recently changed. A lot of darts brands will send you a black point. The reason for that is because the black point has a coating on the end and it makes it slightly grippier. These silver points generally are absolutely terrible and offer you no grip in the board. Now, you'd expect a brand new dartboard to take in any dart, but I'm going to show you a clip now of me throwing these darts at my old board, my old battered Blade 6 single core board, and you'll see how they land on the board. Also, I throw these darts absolutely terribly. Now I know what you're thinking, you throw all your darts terribly. Well, shut up, I know, that's not the point. But these darts fly really awkward through the air for me. So they land on the board at different angles, which gives it even less chance to grip into the board. So let's take a look at me throwing these with the Blade 6 single core, absolutely battered board that I had for like a year. Let's go. And one other thing, I'm going to put these brand new Mission Vortex Force 90 all-in-one flights and stems in them. They sent them along with the board as well. Just a quick disclaimer, Darts Corner did send me this package, but they're not paying me. I'm under no obligation to give a good review. I can give a terrible review if I want to. Obviously they won't like that, but that's not the point. I'd rather give you an honest review than give you something and be like, oh yeah, it's the greatest thing in the world. So far though, it is quite good. From what I've filmed so far, it is quite nice. But that's just on looks. Does it perform when darts go in the board? There you can see the Force 90 all-in-one on the Michael van Gerwen EXO darts. Now, as you can see, they do go in the board. They were thrown reasonably straight into the board. I know they're 41, doesn't matter. But they're not in the board. That one's in fairly well. These are a bit wobbly in the board and not offering too much stability in there. Now, I do actually throw the dart quite lightly as well. I don't throw it too hard. So again, another good test See, that's wobbly. That's okay. That one's okay. So there's a bit of wiggle room in there. Now I assume that when you're, I'm so bad at these darts by the way. 7! When you're throwing your own darts, you've got darts with aggressive points, but you might not have that one really loose, look. But that's in a bad part of the board. Look how wobbly that is, that might even fall out, look. It's gonna fall out, look. There you go. Now you can see obviously I've manipulated that a little bit. They don't land in the board great. They don't go deep into the board because I don't throw it hard. So it is a pretty good test. So bad. But now I'm going to put up the Samurai 4 board and see how we get on with that. First 3 darts are the brand new board with these exo darts that I don't really like, and more importantly, the points that are not grippy at all. Let's see how they stick in the board. It is looking really inviting, it does look really clean. I do like the Samurai logo around the outside, it's a really nice touch, but let's have a go. Like I said, I don't throw it too hard. Let's see how they've held up in the board. Not too bad. A little bit more than the battered Blade 6. Again, this is more to do with the points, but I just thought it'd be interesting to see, with me throwing it soft, how well the sizel softens up and takes the dart into the board. Again, this one took a deflection, so this one will be interesting to see how well it's gone in. That one's in well. That one's in fairly well. Consider it deflected, it wasn't too bad. So another go. I think they've gone a bit further. Not too bad, not too bad. That one's in well. 3 more darts. It is performing slightly better, but you'd expect to because the old board was absolutely battered. Oh my god. It's the first treble on the new board anyway. How well has the treble held up? That's in well, that's in really well. Fairly well, and fairly well. Now I'm going to try the exact same test with the Blade 6 triple core, the premium board and the best board on the market. Let's have a go. Now, as we all know, the PDC use the Blade 6 triple core as their dartboard. And it's a premium dartboard, it's £80, which is quite a lot of money for a dartboard. And I've got to say, I've just took it out of the box, and the quality of this triple core, I hate to say it, but isn't as good. So you can see straight away about the leakages. So there's a bit of black there, a bit of white in there. There's a little bit of a dent in there. I'm being quite picky, a bit of leakage in there into the 25 segment. That's just things you can see straight away. Bit of a mark on the W11 there, bit of an indent. This could be potentially a dead spot here. You can see where it's not quite perfect. A little bit of leakage, I don't know if you see the camera there. Under the treble 20. More white just in here. For an £80 dartboard, I hate to say it because I do love Winmau, but this isn't as good quality. Over here you can see a bit of black. It looks worse in real life. Bit of an indent there. It's nowhere near as good quality. White in there. Compared to the Samurai 4, which I'll put on the screen next to it, it's a bit shocking really. If I were to pay £80 for this, I want the board to be in pretty much perfect condition. But I'm going to get it on the wall, see how it compares to the Samurai 4 when I throw the points with not so much grip in them. And then also I'll give it a 2-hour test and put a side-by-side picture up of the damage that's been done to the Blade 6 compared to the Samurai 4. Let's get it on the wall. Like the first test on the Samurai board, I'm going to throw the Michael van Gerwen darts with the smooth points in them. Again, I don't throw these very well, and when I throw them, they throw quite weak towards the ball, so they don't go in very hard. So it'll be interesting to see how the dart goes into the board if it wobbles around. There wasn't too much wobble on the Samurai board, not too much, was a little bit, but not too much. You'd expect a brand new dartboard to hold it quite well. So we'll see how these fly. But the first thing I'm noticing is the Samurai board is a lot whiter, a lot brighter than the triple core board. It looks a bit more dull, doesn't look as bright on the wall, which isn't quite as inviting. I quite like the look of the Samurai board. It's a bit more vibrant and stands out more. The trebles look bigger, which I definitely need. But let's have a look and see how these fly. In fairly well, in fairly well, in fairly well. That one deflected. That one's in strong, that one's in strong. So far, from what I've thrown here, the triple core is holding the darts in slightly better. So I'd say it's slightly softer, but the sisal is grabbing it a little bit better. And that last one was thrown quite weakly. Bit loose, that one. Wobble it around, is it gonna come out? It's not gonna come out. That one might do, but it deflected. So overall, I would say that the triple core does hold the dart slightly better than the Samurai. Whether that's because the sisal's tighter, I'm not exactly sure why, but it is holding the dart a little bit better. Maybe I'm throwing it harder today. I mean, I did do it the other day, I'm not sure. So overall, I would say the Blade 6 triple core is slightly better at grabbing sort of less sharp points like these. There's not much in it. Is it going to make a difference to your darts? Probably not. I don't think it is. Now, the next test, I'm going to have a throw with my current darts, which hopefully you can see there have got some more aggressive points in them. So I'm going to have a couple of hours throw with these darts, then do the same thing on the Blade 6 triple core and see which has the most amount of battering. That work? On either board to see how it compares to the premium board. Now obviously it's a very short period, 2 hours, to see how well it's going to heal and how well it's going to do. I'm not sure myself, don't know, I've not used it yet properly, but we'll have a go anyway. A couple of hours on this to see how it goes. It's coming back home and seeing it, it looks absolutely lovely. The treble looks massive, still can't hit it, but we'll have a go anyway. Now looking at this board, you might think it's just a copy of the Tiger Aspar, the Unicorn Eclipse 2.0, the Precise 180 board. A lot of brands are bringing out the symmetrical graphics around the outside so it looks the same all the way around, which I'm a fan of. Like everything in darts, one brand does something and everyone else copies, which is fair enough. But what makes this board different? Well, does it play any better? Does it look any better? I don't know if it plays better, because like I said, I've not had a throw on it yet. Does it look better? It looks similar to the others for sure. But you've got to do something different with the board to make it stand out from the rest of the market and in these symmetrical boards. So the difference with this one is the price. Now a Target Tour board is £70, a Precise 180 board is £73, a Unicorn Eclipse Ultra 2.0 is £70. So all about the £70 mark for the symmetrical dartboard, whereas this one comes in at £50, so it's £20 cheaper. So if you're looking for that symmetrical look, this one could be the one because it is a lot cheaper than the other boards. So I'm going to have a few hours, throw it at the Trouble 20, see how much of battering it does take in the end and see what it looks like after a few hours of throwing. I'll catch you in 2 hours time.
Sam does darts! Sam does darts! Sam does darts! Darts, 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 hey, hey, hey!
I've had a throw for a couple of hours and I'm going to show you the results of how much damage there's on the board. I've got to say, pretty good. So I've been throwing at the 20s for a few hours. You can see a few hits in the ones. That's me, I'm not very good. But overall, hardly any damage. Now I know 2 hours isn't much time, but overall, it's been pretty good. The only thing I would say is, I've had a few, maybe I'm not sure if the dead spot in the one, I shouldn't hit ones, but I've hit a few ones and they've just hit the board. I'll show you. I've just hit the board and it's just fallen out. Now I don't throw the dart very hard, so it's partly down to me, but also you'd expect a brand new board to hold every single dart. I've had a few that have fallen out, so I'm not sure if there's a dead spot or not, but overall I'm pretty happy with how it looks after a couple of hours. Now, like I say, you can't really tell until you've used it for a week or so. For the purpose of this video, I'm not gonna have time to throw on it for a week or so because I'm gonna post a video before that. But I will do an update later down the line as to how it is going. But for now, I'm gonna come back tomorrow when I'm fresh and rested. I'm gonna put the Blade 6 triple core up. I'm gonna see how that looks after 2 hours of practicing on it as well. See you tomorrow. There was no real problems with the Samurai. The only problem was maybe a little bit of a dead spot in the one. Not too sure if that was 100%. I did have a few bounce outs to the one, so that's interesting. This board might be the same, but we'll have a throw for a couple of hours with these and see how we get on. Oh, it can't be 180 first free, can it? No, I bowled it. Now, one thing I did want to talk about is the deal between the PDC and Winmau. Now, Winmau have got the contract for the board to be using the PDC up until 2027. So we've got at least another year yet at the time of recording this, year and a half left yet, well, just under a year and a half left yet. Which is interesting. Will another brand come in and take the spot of the Blade 6 triple core in 2027? Now, personally, I think Winmau could keep the contract. Target might potentially release a new board close to the time because realistically, it's going to cost a lot of money, and how many brands can afford that outlay to provide boards to the PDC and pay the contract that is being asked of the PDC? I don't know what the exact number is, but it's going to be a lot of money. You can't imagine smaller brands being able to afford that. Will they make their money back in the revenue from the sales? Potentially, I don't know. People are buying the Blade 6 triple core because it is used on the PDC. It's got the PDC logos on it. It's the one you see on TV. It's the one that everyone knows as the most popular dartboard on the market. Is it the best? Probably. We'll see after 2 hours, but I think this Samurai board is up there. Can Mission afford to pay the fee to the PDC? I don't think they can. I don't know anything about Mission's money, what they've got to spend on deals like this. Target have obviously blown up in the last year, but are they interested in releasing a board that's going to be the top end? Is the Aspar board good enough? I don't think so. Will we see another board like the Samurai board and the Aspar board where it is symmetrical around the outside? I would say yes. So when that deal comes up, come back to this video and comment you were right or you were wrong. Will it be a Winmau board that's got the symmetrical outlay? Potentially, yes. Will they want to keep the deal? Yes. But can Unicorn afford to do it again like they did a few years ago and have the Eclipse board on there? Maybe. But realistically, for me, it's a two-horse race between Winmau and Target. So let me know in the comments what you think will be the next dartboard to be used on the PDC. I think you'll probably stay with Winmau, maybe Target, but will they want to release another board? I think they will, but will they want to pay the money it's going to cost them to be able to get their board on the PDC? Like I say, it's going to be, imagine millions of pounds to use their boards. Not sure. Anyway, a couple of hours of throwing, and I'll come back to you and let you know the results to compare with the Samurai board. So it's time for the final verdict. Now, I've played on the Blade 6 board for about 2 hours, same as I played on the Samurai 4 board. And I've got to say that the Samurai board is actually looking better after 2 hours than the Blade 6. The Blade 6 looking a little bit battered, a bit plenty of 1s and 5s as you can imagine, because I'm not very good. And a bit plenty of 1s and 5s on the Samurai board as well, but it's got less indents for sure. Definitely got a lot less fatigue marks on there. So all in all, is the Samurai board as good as the Blade 6? I would say potentially. The reason being is, first of all, the imperfections on the Blade 6. Now I know there's only one, they make thousands of these, but I can only judge it on the one I've got. The imperfections on here are a lot more than on the Samurai board. Perhaps because it's fairly new, they focus more on the quality and make sure everything's really, really good, whereas this board's been out for a year or so now, a couple of years now even maybe. So they're just absolutely blasting these out as they go along. So less imperfections on the Samurai board, for sure. The artwork around the outside, the symmetricalness, that was a word? I don't know. but the symmetrical nature of it makes it a lot more appealing when you spin it for sure. And the playability, obviously, this is only based on 2 hours worth of throwing. A lot more damage on the triple core board than there is on the Samurai board. So I'll let you be the judge of that. Also, as we saw earlier, the only downside is the Blade 6 board is probably a little bit softer, holds the dart a little bit better if you're using less roughed up points. But realistically, if you're throwing darts, you probably throw brand new points or roughed up points, or if you're serious on darts spending 80 quid on a board anyway, you're probably going to be using better points. And the other thing I really do like about this is the white on here is a lot brighter than the white on the Blade 6 board. That's just personal preference. You might like the white and black segments on here, but on here it really, really stands out and it makes the trebles look even bigger. If you're not very good at hitting trebles, that's absolutely brilliant, especially for me, because I'm rubbish at hitting these red bits. So should you pay 50 quid for the Samurai board, or potentially pay more on a premium board, not necessarily the Blade 6, but another premium board like the Target Tour board? I think this is a pretty good bet, to be honest with you. It's, all in all, a pretty good board, especially for only 50 quid. Let me know what you think of this brand new Mission Samurai board. Would you get one for yourself, or would you stick with a Blade 6 or another board? Let me know what you use and what you're looking at buying next. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.